Welcome back. You're still with us on the last and final segment of You Special on the special budget discussion. We have been talking about the budget, whether it is a budget that lifts the nation like the cup that lifts the nation, the World Cup series, or not. And we've been taking a good bashing at the hits and the misses in the presentation this year. I'm going to start by also asking, we do know, I mean, it's something inevitable, something that's staring us in the face. We know that there are 5 states headed for elections that are poll-bound. So as to maybe appease some of his, friends, is the finance minister really making this an election budget? Do you think it was perhaps something that was aimed towards that direction?
Actually, when we think about the railway budget, we have a lot of trains from West Bengal to Tamil Nadu and Tamil Nadu to Kerala, and this kind of traveling will.
So Mamata Didi certainly made out an election budget. Yeah?
Actually,
but what about Pranab Babu?
When we think about the general budget, it is not that favor to the politics, and but everything has been covered in the railway budget. So there is very little to talk about in the general budget.
Okay.
In my point of view.
Okay. So he's kind of reading between the lines there. Yeah. Sudan, do you believe it was then a poll budget?
I don't think so, because it is, if we make detailed analysis of this budget, we don't find it is any target specific budget or any section specific budget, because if we see the taxation pattern, the higher income group has been taxed, and this has been passed on to the poor people by increasing the allotment to PDS or ICDS. So it's just a redistribution of income. So it's which is anyway reasonable and logical in countries like developing countries like India. So I don't find it is any election based budget or something as people say.
Okay. Now that you brought in the whole target angle, I want to ask you, is this, while he says it's not maybe target specific, do you believe then it's maybe targeting a common man if he's missed the mark there, or is he targeting the corporates? Is he targeting a particular sector? At the end of it, what will you tag this budget as?
Well, I believe this budget has targeted the audience.
So it is inclusive then?
No, what I would say here is this budget didn't take any chance of bringing in new revolutions or new policies as such. Okay, and they have kept the ball rolling as it was, because despite of all the things going negative towards UPA's goal.
Yes.
They never wanted to take any chance and keep the make the crowd even worse off. So to avoid any such circumstance, what they have done is they have just kept the budget as clean as possible, giving a bit of incentives to people which seem to be incentive, but really may not be.
Okay.
But in reality, something else could be there. For example, they have increased the tax limit from to 180.
Yeah.
I think keeping inflation into the mind, it actually doesn't help anyone. It really doesn't help common man or anyone. So see, they have tried to score points in terms of figures, but really it doesn't help anyone.
Okay. So he's kind of played it safe, so as not to disturb too many people.
Absolutely correct.
You
Absolutely.
would say. Okay. What about you? Do you think do you agree with him? Are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Milind, but the point is, like, the Indian government had decided that the GDP growth rate should be 8.6 in the coming financial year.
Right.
So basically what they are doing, they are just try to be economy as stable after the post-crisis, so that they can implement GST and the direct tax code, so that they can, in the coming years, they can implement a lot of policies. And on the other hand, if I talk about the taxation thing, a lot of commodity has been brought up under the service taxation, so that basically they are not increasing the tax limit, but they are raising the tax from other sources.
So finally, who would you say is the target then?
Target is nothing, they are just playing safe, a cautious budget.
Cautious budget again, that he says. Okay. Final thoughts on the show very, very quickly. Is India on its road to fiscal consolidation at the end of it, would you say?
No, I won't say that. I'll say that this year's budget is more like a testing budget.
Yeah.
Many ambitious plans have been proposed in the budget,
Right.
like reducing the fiscal deficit to 4%, while they are actually announcing so many allocations. So whether in the end they are able to live up to the expectations, that's what I will say is the the final testing of UPA government for that matter.
Okay. So a test drive by the UPA government. One last thought and we'll wrap it with that. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is the 20th year of economic liberalizations, and we expected a lot more from finance minister this time. and I guess he has not lived up to the expectation, and he's very risk averse, and he could have he could have allowed more foreign fund to come in and been more revolutionary. But thing is that he's been risk averse, and maybe he's the only gentleman among the 10 ministers. And thing is that he wants to carry on his Pranam Babu tag to the next year.
All right. So you're hoping for more Walmarts to maybe come in someday.
That's right.
Huh? Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's the verdict we can leave the show with. It's a mixed bag of responses, more or less, right? While it has maybe pleased or looks like it's pleased a couple, maybe it's a play it safe budget, more or less. But that's the tag. You've heard it from the students of the Madras School of Economics. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you and even getting reactions first off from you guys, because you've figured and you've been part of this historical budget. If you'd like your campus to take part in U Special or to figure in U Special, all you have to do is write into us to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com or just give us a call to 999625 04179. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye.